English Leap Podcast.
Learn easy English with Speak English Like a Pro. Hey, English learners! Welcome back to the English Leap Podcast, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations and real feelings at the same time.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. And today we are doing something we have never done before on this podcast.
Something that is going to change the next 20 days of your life.
20 days. That is all we are asking. Not a year, not 6 months, 20 days.
And at the end of those 20 days, your English will feel different. Not perfect, different. More natural, more confident, more yours.
We are launching the 20 Days English Fluency Challenge. And today we are telling you exactly what it is, exactly what to do each day, and exactly why it works.
And this challenge is not complicated. It is not expensive. You do not need special books or special apps or a special teacher.
You need 20 minutes a day. You need this podcast, and you need the decision to actually do it.
That is the whole requirement. 20 minutes, this podcast, and the decision.
And the decision is the hardest part, not the practice, the decision.
Because once you decide, once you genuinely commit to 20 days, the practice becomes almost easy because you already made the choice. There's nothing left to negotiate.
And today, we are going to make that decision very easy for you, because by the end of this episode, you will know exactly what to do every single day and exactly why it is going to work.
This is an A2 to B1 level episode. Simple words, clear sentences, real English that real people use every real day.
Before we begin, one request. If this podcast is the English learning experience you have been looking for, please like this episode and subscribe to the English Leap podcast and share it with one English learner who needs this challenge right now.
And in the comments, write one word, just one, that describes how you feel about your English right now. Honest answers only. We read every single one.
Okay, let us start with something important. Why 20 days?
Because 20 days is long enough to actually build something, but short enough that it doesn't feel impossible.
A year feels too big. You say, I'll start on January 1st, and then January 15th arrives and nothing has changed.
1 week feels too short. You don't see real change in 1 week. And because you don't see change, you lose motivation.
But 20 days is the sweet spot. It's achievable, it's visible, and 20 days of consistent daily practice produces real, measurable change in how your English feels.
And we didn't pick 20 days randomly. Research on habit formation shows that the first 21 days of a new behavior are the most critical. This is when the brain builds the new neural pathways, the new roads. Neural pathways. Let's explain that simply. Your brain is like a city, and habits are like roads in that city. New habits are like new roads being built. At first, the new road is just dirt. It's rough and slow. It takes effort to travel on it.
But every time you use that road, it gets a little better, a little smoother, a little faster.
And after 20 days of using that road every single day, it becomes a proper road, one you can travel on without even thinking about it.
That's what fluency feels like, speaking English on a smooth road rather than rough dirt.
And 20 days of daily practice builds that road, one day at a time.
So, here's the challenge. Simple structure, simple rules. 5 things every day for 20 days.
5 things. That's it. Not 50, 5.
Thing 1. Listen to one episode of this podcast every day.
Not as background noise, with full attention. Even if it's an episode you already heard, actually sit with it. Follow every word.
And this is important. Don't worry about understanding every single word. That's not the goal.
The goal is to keep your ears in English, to keep the sound of English in your head every day, to train your ears to feel at home with English sounds.
And this podcast is perfect for that, because the English here is natural, not too slow, not too fast, real people talking about real things.
And over 20 days of daily listening, something happens to your ears. They start to catch things they missed before. Words start to separate. The speed starts to feel more comfortable.
Not because the English got easier, because your ears got better.
Thing 2. Speak out loud in English for 5 minutes every day.
5 minutes. That's 300 seconds. Anybody can do 300 seconds.
And before anyone says, "But I have nobody to speak to," that's fine. You don't need anyone. Speak to yourself.
Speak to your phone. Speak to your mirror. Speak to your plant. We have said this before, and we will say it again. The plant is an excellent conversation partner.
Zero judgment, infinite patience.
The perfect listener. And what do you say? Anything. Talk about your day. Describe the room you're in. Tell a story about something that happened this week.
Narrate what you're doing. I'm making coffee. It's too hot outside today. I'm thinking about what to eat for dinner. I can't decide between rice and pasta.
The very real internal debates of daily life. In English.
All of them valid, all of them excellent speaking practice. Because the goal is not to say interesting things. The goal is to get your mouth comfortable in English.
Your mouth needs to practice. Your lips and tongue and jaw need to build muscle memory for English sounds, and they only build that by actually speaking.
5 minutes every day. Out loud, in English. No audience required.
Thing 3. Learn 5 new words every day.
5, not 50, 5.
Because 5 words learned properly and used genuinely is worth more than 50 words added to a list and forgotten.
And here's how to learn 5 words properly. Don't just read them and write them down. Use them. Make one sentence with each word, a real sentence about your real life, not a sentence from a textbook, a sentence about you. For example, if you learn the word exhausted, don't write, "The man is exhausted." Write, "I was absolutely exhausted after work yesterday because my manager scheduled 3 meetings in a row."
That sentence is yours. It connects the word to your actual experience, and your brain will remember words that are attached to your actual experience far better than words floating on a list.
5 words, 5 real personal sentences every day.
By day 20, you will have 100 new words, 100 words that you actually know and can actually use, not 100 words you vaguely remember seeing somewhere.
The difference between a word you actually know and a word you vaguely remember seeing is the difference between a tool and a decoration.
The decoration vocabulary, nice to look at, completely useless when you need it.
Nobody needs a wall of decorations. Everybody needs a toolbox.
100 real tools after 20 days. That's what this step builds.
Thing 4. Write 10 sentences in English every day.
10 sentences about anything. Your feelings, your plans, your day, a memory, something you're looking forward to, something that bothered you, something that made you smile.
And don't use a translator. This is very important. Don't write in your native language and then translate. Think in English from the beginning. Even if the sentences are simple, even if they are short, even if they are not perfect. I had a good day today. The weather was nice. I spoke English for 5 minutes this morning. I felt nervous at first, but then it got easier.
Simple, real, genuine, and completely valid as English practice.
Because writing in English builds a completely different skill from speaking or listening. Writing makes you slow down, it makes you choose your words carefully, it makes you construct sentences deliberately.
And that deliberate construction practice makes your speaking better, because your brain has been practicing the building process, and over time, the building becomes faster and more automatic.
Write 10 sentences every day in English about your actual life.
And if you want to take it one step further, post your 10 sentences in our comments. Let the community see your progress. Let real people read your English.
Because making your practice visible to others adds a layer of accountability that private practice cannot provide.
And our community is kind. We cheer for each other here.
Always.
Thing 5. End every day with one English gratitude sentence.
One gratitude sentence. Jason loves this one.
I do, because it's so small and so powerful at the same time.
Before you sleep, in English, say or write one thing you are grateful for from that day. Just one.
Today, I am grateful for the warm cup of tea I had this morning. Today, I am grateful for a message from my sister. Today, I am grateful for 5 minutes where everything felt quiet and okay.
And this works for two reasons. First, it gives you daily English production practice in the most low-pressure situation possible, just before sleep. No audience, no judgment.
And second, it trains your brain to end the day in a positive state, which means better sleep, and better sleep means better focus tomorrow, which means better English practice the next day.
The whole system feeds itself. Listen every day, speak every day, learn words every day, write every day, end with gratitude every day.
5 things, 20 minutes total, 20 days.
Now let us talk about something that is going to happen during this challenge, something we want you to be ready for.
What is that?
Days 7, 8, and 9.
The danger days.
The danger days, because days 1 through 6, you will feel motivated. Everything is new, you are excited, you are building the streak, you feel good about yourself.
And then day 7 arrives, and you are tired or busy, or you just do not feel like it. And a voice in your head says, you can skip today, just today. You'll do double tomorrow.
And double tomorrow is one of the oldest lies in the history of human motivation.
Double tomorrow has never happened in the history of anyone, ever.
Not once in all of human history, the double tomorrow has never arrived.
Because tomorrow you will also be tired and also busy, and also the voice will say the same thing.
So what do you do on day 7, 8, or 9 when everything in you wants to skip?
You do the minimum version.
The minimum version, the smallest possible version of the challenge that still counts as doing it.
On a hard day, 1 minute of speaking counts. 3 sentences of writing counts. 2 new words count. 5 minutes of listening counts. 1 gratitude sentence counts.
The minimum version is not failure. The minimum version is survival. And survival on hard days is the skill that separates people who complete challenges from people who give up.
Because the person who does the minimum version on 7 hard days will always finish the challenge.
And the person who waits for motivation to return before doing the full version will miss those 7 days. And losing 7 days means losing the streak, and losing the streak often means stopping entirely.
The minimum version is your safety net. Use it without shame.
Without any shame at all.
Okay, let us talk about what you will actually notice after 20 days, because I want you to know what to look for so you can recognize the progress when it arrives. Because progress in language learning is sneaky. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive with fireworks and a certificate.
The fluency certificate, if only.
It arrives quietly in small moments that you almost miss.
After about 7 days, you will notice that English feels slightly less foreign, like a room you visited a few times rather than a room you've never been in.
After about 12 days, you will notice that some words and phrases arrive faster. You go to say something and the English word is there before you had to look for it.
That's a neural pathway solidifying, the road getting smoother.
After about 15 days, you will notice that speaking for 5 minutes feels shorter than it did on day 1. The silence between sentences gets smaller. The pauses get less desperate.
And by day 20, you will notice something that's hard to describe but impossible to miss.
What is that?
English will feel a little bit more like yours. Not perfect, not fluent in the dramatic sense, but more familiar, more comfortable, more like something you live inside rather than something you are trying to borrow.
And that feeling, that small but real shift in how the language sits in your body, that is worth every single one of the 20 days.
Every minimum version day, every awkward 5 minutes of talking to yourself, every sentence you wrote that was not perfect.
All of it, building the road one day at a time.
Okay, let's talk about something practical. How to make the challenge fit into your real life, because life doesn't stop for a challenge.
Real life is the challenge.
Exactly. So here's how to build the 5 things into a real day without adding stress or complication.
Morning. Listen to the podcast episode while you make breakfast or get ready. Passive listening that asks nothing extra from your schedule.
During the day, when you have 5 free minutes, speak out loud, on your lunch break, on a walk, in the bathroom, anywhere with a few minutes of privacy.
Evening. Learn 5 words, write 10 sentences. Takes about 15 minutes total if you're not overthinking it.
And before sleep, 1 gratitude sentence. Takes 30 seconds while you're lying in bed before you close your eyes.
The whole challenge fits into your actual day without requiring you to rearrange your life.
Because a challenge that requires you to rearrange your life will not survive contact with your actual life.
It needs to be simple enough to do on the hard days, on the busy days, on the days when everything went wrong and you're tired and you just want to sleep.
Simple enough to do even then. That's the design of this challenge.
And we want to say something to the person who's thinking, but what if I miss a day? What do I do?
You do day 21.
That's it. Miss day 7, do day 21. The challenge becomes 21 days. Not over, just extended.
Because the goal is not a perfect, unbroken streak. The goal is 20 days of practice. Those 20 days don't have to be consecutive. They just have to happen.
20 days. They can be spread over 22 or 23 calendar days if life interrupts. The practice is what counts, not the perfect calendar. Give yourself that grace and keep going. Okay, word tour time. 10 words from today. Simple, clear, and immediately useful.
Listen, repeat after us, out loud, every single one. First expression, commit. To commit means to fully decide to do something and follow through with it. Not thinking about it, not trying it, deciding and then doing.
For example, once she committed to the 20-day challenge, something changed. She stopped negotiating with herself each morning about whether to practice. The decision was already made. Or, committing to something small consistently produces bigger results than trying something big once and stopping. Repeat, commit. Commit. Slowly, commit. Next expression, neural pathway. A neural pathway is a connection in the brain that forms when you practice something repeatedly, like a road being built through use. The more you use it, the stronger and faster it becomes. For example, every time she spoke English out loud, she was strengthening the neural pathway for English speaking. After 20 days, those pathways were noticeably stronger. Words arrived faster, sentences formed easier. Or, neural pathways for language are built through repetition, not through reading about language, but through actually using it. Repeat, neural pathway. Neural pathway. Take your time. Neural pathway. Next expression, deliberate. Deliberate means done on purpose with full attention. Not automatic, not accidental. You are consciously choosing each action. For example, deliberate writing practice is different from casual writing. You're paying attention to word choice, sentence structure, and meaning. That deliberate attention is what makes the practice productive. Or, deliberate practice in any skill produces faster improvement than casual practice. The attention you bring is what activates the learning. Repeat, deliberate. Deliberate. Slowly, deliberate. Next expression, accountability. Accountability means being responsible to someone or something for your actions. When you're accountable, your behavior is connected to a consequence or a witness. For example, posting her daily 10 sentences in the comments section created accountability. Other people were reading her progress. She didn't want to let them down, or herself. Or, accountability doesn't have to be external. A personal commitment made seriously to yourself is a form of accountability. Repeat, accountability. Accountability. Take your time. Accountability. Next expression, consecutive. Consecutive means following one after another without interruption. 7 consecutive days means 7 days in a row with no breaks. For example, the 20 days of the challenge do not need to be consecutive. Missing one day doesn't end the challenge. It just adds a day to the end. The practice is what counts, not the perfect consecutive calendar.
Or, she ran for 30 consecutive days, every single morning without missing one. By the end, her body had adapted in ways that surprised her. Repeat, consecutive, consecutive, slowly, consecutive. Next expression, solidify. To solidify means to become firm, stable, and permanent. When knowledge solidifies, it moves from something fragile and temporary to something fixed and reliable.
For example, After 12 days of daily practice, she noticed certain words solidifying. They stopped being words she had to search for and became words that were simply there when she needed them. Or, understanding solidifies through use. The first time you hear a new concept, you understand it loosely. The 10th time you use it yourself, you understand it completely. Repeat, solidify.
Solidify.
Take your time. Solidify.
Next expression. Grace.
Grace in this context means kindness and forgiveness toward yourself when things do not go perfectly, treating yourself gently rather than harshly when you make a mistake or miss a day.
For example, she gave herself grace when she missed day 11. She did not call herself a failure. She said, "I missed one day and I am continuing tomorrow." That grace is what allowed her to finish the challenge.
Or, giving yourself grace is not the same as making excuses. It means acknowledging the difficulty honestly and choosing to continue with kindness rather than quitting with criticism. Repeat, grace.
Grace.
Slowly, grace.
Next expression. Narrate.
To narrate means to describe something as it happens, to give a running commentary on events or actions as they occur.
For example, narrating daily activities in English is one of the simplest and most effective speaking practices available. You do not need special topics. You just describe what is happening around you and inside you in English as it happens.
Or, great storytellers narrate experiences in a way that makes the listener feel present, not just informed, actually there. Repeat, narrate.
Narrate.
Take your time. Narrate.
Next expression. Motivated.
Motivated means having a strong desire and energy to do something. When you're motivated, you don't need to push yourself. The energy is naturally there.
For example, motivation is strongest at the beginning of a challenge. Days 1 through 6 usually feel easy because the motivation is high. The real challenge is days 7 onwards, when motivation naturally dips and discipline must carry what motivation used to.
Or, waiting until you feel motivated before starting is a trap. Start first. Motivation often arrives after you begin, rather than before. Repeat, motivated.
Motivated.
Slowly, motivated.
And our last expression today, formation.
Formation means the process of developing or creating something over time. Habit formation is the process by which repeated behaviors become automatic and natural.
For example, research on habit formation suggests that the first 3 weeks of consistent daily practice are the most important. This is when the behavior moves from conscious effort to automatic routine.
Or, language formation follows a similar pattern. The first 20 days of daily contact with a language build the foundation that everything else is built on. Repeat, formation.
Formation.
Take your time. Formation.
That was our word tour for today. 10 simple, powerful words that you can use immediately starting today.
And now, our final thought, the most important thing we want to leave you with.
20 days from now, you will be one of 2 people.
Person 1. You heard about this challenge, you thought it sounded good, and then you closed this episode and went back to your life unchanged.
Person 2. You heard about this challenge, you decided, and for the next 20 days, you showed up every single day. Even the minimum version days, even the tired days.
And 20 days from now, person 2 looks at their English and feels something they have not felt before. Ownership. Like this language is starting to belong to them, rather than just being something they're trying to borrow.
And the only difference between person 1 and person 2 is the decision made in the next 60 seconds.
Not a big, dramatic, life-changing decision, a small, quiet one. I'm doing this. 20 days, starting today.
And if you make that decision right now, before this episode ends, tell us in the comments. Write, "I'm starting today," and your start date, and we'll be here cheering for every single one of you.
20 days, 5 things, 20 minutes, every day.
You already have everything you need. You have this podcast, you have your voice, you have 20 minutes somewhere in your day.
And now you have the plan.
So, the only question is, are you person 1 or person 2?
We already know which one you're going to choose.
We really do.
We have never been more certain than anything.
If today's episode gave you the spark and the plan you needed, please like it, subscribe to the English Leap podcast, and share it with one English learner who has been waiting for the right moment to start.
Tell them the right moment is today. The right moment is always today. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.